Hey, what's up guys, it's Jin here. We recently saw that Neymar signed a 2-year contract with the Saudi club Al Hilal, which is guaranteed to bring him up to $300 million. And we're all probably thinking the same thing. This has got to be one of the biggest what-ifs in football history. I think there's many reasons why Neymar didn't get to live out the promising career that we all hope for, but being injury prone and missing out on some of the most important games because of these injuries has to be one of them. Neymar has missed out on 103 games since joining PSG in 2017, so that's 103 games in the span of 6 years. And the question becomes why? Why did he get injured so much? For one, the opponents that he played against really went after him. Data shows that out of those 103 injuries, 62 of them, so more than half of them, were because of the opponent's direct tackle. So that's a fairly well-known reason, right? We know that he likes to dribble. He's one of the best players on the team, and so the opponents are going to go after him. But here's another compelling argument that this video is really all about. I think that his right ankle never got the chance to fully recover. Back in 2014 and his Barcelona days, Neymar suffers his first right ankle injury against Getafe. Reports say that it was a peroneal tendon injury, which is commonly injured as you roll your ankle into an excessive inversion. And because of this injury, he was out for 10 games and missed 32 days. Jumping into 2018, Neymar again suffers a major ankle sprain, and this time he fractures the 5th metatarsal as well. Important to note here, the peroneal tendon that we just talked about actually attaches to the base of that 5th metatarsal of the foot, which makes the already weakest link of his foot even weaker. And because of this fracture, he did get a stabilization surgery with plate and screws, and he was out for 90 days, so about 3 months there. In January 2019, Neymar actually ends up twisting that right foot again, and this time fractures that same exact bone, the 5th metatarsal again, and was out for 85 days. Heading into June 2019, Neymar again ruptures one of the ankle ligaments in his right foot, and this time he was out for 63 days. And most recently, in February 2023, Neymar again suffers a right ankle injury, and this time, although there were no fractures, he still had to get a surgery because of ruptured ligaments, and he was out for 130 days. So that's 5 major ankle injuries and 2 ankle surgeries, which is incredibly traumatic to the ankle and foot. When these ligaments on the outside of your foot that connects the fibula to the talus and calcaneus repeatedly get sprained, that can cause some microscopic tears due to the amount of stress you're putting the ankle through. And because of that, you can start seeing some decreased postural control, impaired proprioception, increased ligament laxity, and decreased range of motion as well. Now the question becomes, how do we treat this? In physical therapy, we like to start with what's called RICE, rest, ice, compression, and elevation, in the very acute stage of rehab, because we don't want to push too soon, too far. Neuromuscular training, where we work on intrinsic foot muscles and muscles that surround the foot and ankle joint, has been shown to be effective in improving proprioception. There's one study that shows that neuromuscular training has been shown to be effective in preventing another lateral ankle sprain among sporting population. And it might be worth considering using taping or bracing, because that has been shown to be effective in reducing edema. And as we get closer to returning to sport, we'll eventually and very gradually introduce the patient to the amount of loading that that ankle will have to go through in order to participate in their sport. Building ankle stability in all planes of motion, working on single leg stability, and eventually getting to plyometrics, where you want to produce the most amount of force in the shortest amount of time, which is very functional in soccer, is going to be some of the next steps that we consider in physical therapy. So today we took a look at Neymar's ankle case and very briefly touched on some of the things that patients work on when they come to PT for a lateral ankle sprain rehab. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.